Hey folks, it's Jim, it's Julie, it's episode 261 of Geeking Out. Welcome to the show. We are in week 2 of DC Villains Month.
Yes.
So we're going to start off with a little bit in reverse.
Just a little.
Yeah, with Reverse Flash.
First up is the Flash number 23. Okay, good. I was right. 23.2. Reverse Flash. Sorry about that, guys. And in this, we get an origin story for Daniel West, which, as you can probably extrapolate, is
the Reverse Flash.
Yes. I don't want to go too much into it because I hate spoiling origin stories, but very, very, very briefly, Daniel grew up in a very broken home. After gaining Flash powers and access to the Speed Force, he's taken it upon himself to fix his history. I really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed the art. I liked the look at Reverse Flash's motives. It's not something that I've really had before.
Yeah.
And it was really kind of neat to see how Reverse Flash came to be the person that he is. So I really enjoyed this. If you enjoyed Flashpoint or liked Reverse Flash at all, I really think that you should get this because it was a really neat book.
Alright, next up we have Batman, The Dark Knight, number 23.1. The Ventriloquist, number 1.
So this is a book from last week.
Yeah. And in this one, Shauna Belzer always wanted the limelight of fame to shine upon her. Now, with the help of Ferdy, her ventriloquist dummy, and her telekinetic powers, she intends to steal the spotlight.
Uh-oh. Stealing... Hasn't anybody told these people that stealing never goes well for them?
Yeah, especially when you're a murderous killer.
Yeah, like... Don't they get the after-school specials?
Yeah, apparently not. But, this was an interesting read. This is a very, very, very different ventriloquist than we're used to. And I actually kind of like that. I know.
Oh my goodness.
Shock of shocks. Wait till I get a little later.
Where's the calendar?
Yeah, wait until we get to this episode a little later when I go on a rant. Honestly, this was a very interesting debut for the new ventriloquist, as it were. And she's a very dark character, which is very interesting because it really goes into her past and why she became who she was. And
I think it's really neat when you see dark, well-constructed female characters because it's so rare.
Yeah.
To get that level of darkness from a female character.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like it.
And pretty much just remember, every word she says is a lie.
Even when she tells you that every word she says is a lie?
That's my guess. So just be cautious.
Oh, this is a riddle that I think I need help on. Next up is Batman number... Are you Batman? You are Batman. Batman number 23.2, The Riddler. All I'm giving you on this one, guys, is the Riddler breaks into Wayne Tower. That's it.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. It was so good. It does a good job as a standalone, but I'm excited for Batman number 25 in November because we're supposed to be seeing the Riddler again. So, that's all the information.
Riddle me this. When do we see the Riddler again?
That's all the information I'm giving you. This book was fantastic. I loved the art. I loved the story. I loved the way everything was written and laid out. I just loved this book. So, look for the Riddler.
And then there was Lobo. Justice League 23.2, Lobo. Oh boy.
Oh, Lobo. Did it make you feel like you needed a lobotomy?
Yeah, it really did. Alright. So, I'll get to the story anyway, just because it's part of my job. So Lobo is out on a smuggling gig to learn information that will lead him to his target. An imposter named Lobo.
Cool. 2 Lobos.
Yeah.
That's twice the fun.
Yeah, if only one were actually any good. That's the problem. This character is about as interesting as applesauce.
What's wrong with applesauce?
It's plain, it's boring. There's nothing to it.
Respectfully, I disagree.
This new Lobo is just terrible. I'm sorry. When you have the original Lobo in the book called Lobo, and you're trying to replace him with a Lobo who has nothing new or good to offer, there's no reason to have this new Lobo in the universe.
But maybe there's no reason right now, but maybe they'll make an awesome reason. Like the War of the Lobo.
Yeah, I'd love to see the original 1980s Lobo kill this Lobo in horrible, horrible ways. And maybe, if we're lucky, he'll reset the entire DC universe back to before this horrible thing ever started. I know we won't go that far, but
you liked the new universe in Ventriloquist.
Yeah, and there's a few other things I've liked as well, like Batgirl, but...
Exactly. There are redeeming factors.
There are redeeming factors. This is not one of them. I have to stay PG. You do not know how much I want to swear and curse and just be really mean right now. But honestly, I'm okay for rebooting characters if you do them right. This is not done right. This is turning Lobo into a Ryan Seacrest or Lindsay Lohan type character that they are not.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Now do you get it?
Oh dear.
The original Lobo was a bad-mouthing narcissist who just was killing, having fun and stuff. This Lobo's like every other page. Sorry. Not sorry. It's like, what am I reading?
He's the family-friendly version of Lobo.
He's like the emo version of Lobo. It's terrible.
Can we just caption this as hipster Lobo?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. He's hipster Lobo.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, not sorry, this book sucks!
Alright, next up. Oh my Zod, you will not believe what's next.
Wait a minute. I also have Zod to review.
Oh no! Well,
Here we go again. It's time for another episode of Point Counterpoint.
yes.
So I will let you start with this storyline for Zod.
Alright, so this book follows Zod from the very beginning, from being a young man helping his parents in their endeavor to essentially terraform Krypton. They're on a mission to learn more about the monsters and the various creatures that live on Krypton so that
The very deadly creatures.
Yes. So that this way the entire planet can be colonized and used.
Yep.
Because the populations are growing at such an exponential rate.
Yep.
The only problem is that Zod has some
Very severe mental problems.
Yeah, I couldn't find
let's
it.
just say.
I was gonna go for he was having some warm, fuzzy feelings for the monsters, not really the feelings that were encouraged by his family.
Yeah.
And when one of them attacks, it becomes Zod's ability. It becomes Zod against the universe
Pretty much, yep.
for I don't know, what was it, a year? A year until
Quite a while, yeah.
until Jor-El and Zor-El, names that you should be familiar with,
Yep.
come to the island on a scientific / rescue mission where
Yep.
they find Zod.
A very Jungle Boy-esque Zod.
Yes.
Yes.
I liked this book. How did you feel about it, Jim?
I also liked it. It actually works with the character of Zod very well.
Mm-hmm.
I heard some people complaining about the armor on the cover. It's explained.
I liked the armor.
I like the armor as well. Oh.
But there's a question about the armor being too Lex Luthor-esque. And I can see their point. I don't necessarily agree.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed this book. I think that Ken Lashley has done a fantastic job.
He really brings the worlds to life when he's drawing it, and it just, you really actually feel for the character and where his mental state is going as the planet comes to an end and he has to...
I was very concerned about some of these monsters.
Yeah.
Ken's done a fantastic job of making a very scary monster.
Yeah.
And I have to admire that. The pencil work is fantastic. The colors are great. I really feel like everybody involved on this book has done an A+ job.
Yeah. It was a very good new origin for Zod, and it really does work with the character.
It works so well.
It feels like Zod should be.
Yes.
And after having to read Lobo, this was a breath of fresh air, quite honestly. So, yeah, if you're a Superman fan, do check out Zod. It's a really dark retelling of Zod's origins, and it really works.
When you go into your local comic shop provider, you'll want to ask for Action Comics 23.2 for Zod.
Yeah, so check it out. It's a lot of good.
Definitely.
It's pretty darn good. Alright, next up we have Justice League of America, number 7.2, Killer Frost. And in this one, with Firestorm gone, a desperate Frost is forced to decide whether she should search for the missing hero or find a new source of food for her power fixes.
Oh.
Alright.
Maybe she could get together with Morbius the Living Vampire.
That's a different company.
I'm well aware. Very lame joke.
Yes, I know. But this is really a humanizing tale. You actually feel for this villain because she doesn't want to be stuck this way. She doesn't want to be an energy-sucking vampire. She wants Firestorm back so she can become human again. And he's the only one who can do it for her. So this is a really interesting tale because it goes into her dark past and how she became, well, Killer Frost, but also how she found out that Firestar was the only person who could change her back.
Oh, that's neat.
So
I'm intrigued to see what role Killer Frost will play in Forever Evil.
Yeah, I think she's more against what's going on than anything. Mm-hmm. So it's a really good, what's the word here? Developing point, I guess you can say, for the full Forever Evil story, because she's not really technically evil. She just happens to kill because it's the only way she can get energy and survive herself. So, and she just wants to become human again, and of course the only person who can do that is now gone / dead. So what else is she gonna do? So it's a really interesting character study and a really interesting humanizing story as well, which is a very good thing for a villain at times, especially when you can actually understand their points of view / thoughts on why they do what they do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I quite enjoyed this one, and it was a really good look into the mind of a villain. So check this one out. It was very surprising.
On the note of really good looks into the minds of villains, next up is Detective Comics 23.2 featuring Harley Quinn. And this is another origin story for Harley. So, of course, I'm not going to give you a whole lot, but Harley is bored. The Suicide Squad has disbanded. She doesn't know quite what to do with herself, so she's gone back to her roots, to Gotham.
Yep.
And that's all I'm giving you, because I don't want to ruin it, because it was super fantastic.
It was good. I quite enjoyed it as well. And they do actually keep true to the original origins of Harley, which is nice. She's a bit more insane than she used to be.
But I like that.
But I liked it as well, because it works.
They brought in a lot of aspects from the Harley developmental books in Death of the Family last year. Yeah. Which was very cool. Yeah. I like this new Harley that balances Harley and Harleen. Yeah. There is a good balance between the two characters, because in her mind she's fighting between them. It's really which is good, because that's exactly what that character needs. Yeah. So guys, If you are looking for a new villain to be interested in, if you like Harley already, if you're just looking for a good book to read, look for Harley Quinn, because I really don't think she's going to let you down.
At least that's the hope. Alright, so last up for me this week is Justice League 23.1, which came out last week. Darkseid, or Darkseid, or however you want to pronounce it.
Tomato.
I've seen so many different pronunciations of it, it's not funny. But we'll call him Darkseid, just to be safe.
You call him Darkseid, I'll call him Darkseid, and then we've got both of our bases covered.
Alright. So, Darkseid.
Just to be difficult.
Yep, I'm a jerk. Darkseid begins his mission to become a god by killing all the other supposed gods in his way. Until he becomes Lord of Apocalypse. But a trickster accidentally opens a portal to Earth and leads him to a fateful confrontation between Darkseid, or Side, and Superman.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, so this pretty much leads into where we're going with Forever Evil, with the Justice League dead.
That's really cool.
It's really dark. It's really an interesting delving into another villain's mindset, because he thinks he is pretty much the end-all, be-all. You can't tell him any different or he'll just kill you. So, yeah, that's pretty much Darkseid in a nutshell there.
Quick, somebody call Batman.
Yeah, he would kill Batman in a second.
That's what you think.
Well, then again, Batman survived much worse.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but as for a more or less origin story, it's pretty much It pretty much works for Darkseid. It's very dark. It's very gory. It's very, very much Darkseid. It does work here.
So wait, are you suggesting that this character is a little more on the dark side of things?
Yeah, he's probably they probably goes on play dates with Vader. But
I believe that. The Emperor just sits at the park watching them play on the swings.
No, he's holding the swing. So that's totally off topic,
but we digress.
This was a good delving into Darkseid's past, and I quite enjoyed it. If you're a fan of Darkseid and you want to learn a bit more about his dark past, check this one out. Alright, so we have a little bit of another thing to talk about.
Yes.
And if you've been reading the news lately, you've heard about the Batwoman creative team leaving the book due to the editorial team not allowing the character of Batwoman to get married to her longtime girlfriend, who Batwoman also proposed to her already in the book. So the editorial team is not allowing Batwoman to get married to her partner. Hello, Fly. So I have a lot to say about that, but let's hear what Dan DiDio said about it first. And I quote, "Heroes shouldn't have happy personal lives. They are committed to being that person and defending others at the sacrifice of their own personal interests. That is our mandate, that is our edict, and that is our stand." Dan DiDio.
Didn't Stan Lee deal with that something like 40 or 50 years ago with Spider-Man, giving him an actual life and introducing us to Peter Parker?
Yeah, pretty much. Apparently, Dan DiDio says that superheroes can't have normal personal lives. So I'm guessing that also soldiers and police officers and firefighters and doctors and surgeons and various other heroes in our world can't have personal lives as well. Are you freaking insane? Honestly. Grow the F up, DiDio. This is the year 2013. Imagine the possibilities of having a character like that be married? The dramatic possibilities in storytelling. What you could do with that.
The messages that you can improve the world with,
Yeah.
and the sheer social response. And also, I'm just throwing this out there from a business perspective, but you might get a few more readers of Batwoman if you encouraged her to have a personal life.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Just-
great. It's great that you're forwarding the character as being gay and everything. That's great. That's a very big leap, and that's great. But if you can't take that next step, then why bother?
Exactly.
I mean, they've already
Why-
set it up. They've set up the wedding. They've had the proposal. So why is this character not allowed to be happy?
Exactly.
That's what I want to know. Why do you think this character should not be happy? It's idiotic.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate for 1 second here. Personally, I'm not fond of the fact that they won't allow Batwoman's character to marry. However, from a comic storytelling perspective, it wasn't so long ago where we had heroes being allowed to become happy and then having their female counterparts stripped away from them as a storytelling aspect.
Yeah.
So perhaps because of the outrage in response to that, we are seeing an editorial stance of saying, no, we don't want this, so that we don't have to deal with people using the obvious cop-out of killing off the significant other.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate them forcing writers to go and think outside the box. But if it's a matter of heroes don't get to have happy personal lives, then
That's completely idiotic.
it's just unfair.
And I'll throw this in. Archie Comics is more progressive than DC. They allowed Kevin Keller to marry his boyfriend. Think about that. Archie Comics is more progressive than DC.
I would like to suggest that Archie Comics has been very progressive in a lot of
yeah.
manners without ever really intending to.
True. But when you're have a book that sells literally thousands and thousands and thousands of copies like Batwoman, and you can't progress the character,
Where's the
Then-
book going if we get no character development?
exactly.
I don't know what they're hoping to now be able to achieve, because once again we're going to end up in a situation where fans are upset that
Exactly.
the character that they care about is not allowed to be happy.
Well, not to go off topic, but remember what happened when they fired Gale off Batgirl.
That is the exact example that I was thinking of.
Uh-huh. And that did not work very well for DC, now did it?
Well, perhaps we can rally enough support so that we can allow Batwoman's personal life to...
Well, now with the creative team gone, it's a little harder to do that, but I can hope that maybe DC will look back at their idiotic thoughts on it and maybe get a little bit more progressive and get with the times, as it were. Alright, so rant over. Don't buy Lobo.
Do buy Harley.
Buy Harley.
See, she wants to come home
and,
with you.
And check
She's-
out Killer Frost. They're our picks of the week. So that brings us to the close of another exciting episode full of ranting and raving. And we will see you in a very special episode coming up with our very special guest, who you will kneel before, Ken Lashley. See you then.